Hi everybody, welcome to Geometry Today. I'm at home again with my kids, but hope that you have a good Friday. So today we are going to talk about the different ways that you can solve for missing sides on a triangle. There's 3 ways that we've done this so far this year. They are Pythagorean theorem, proportions, and tangent. So for both Pythagorean theorem and tangent, you have to have a right triangle to start with, and in order to do a proportion, you have to have 2 similar triangles. We are going to focus in on tangent today since that is our newest topic. So we're going to have you do a warm-up here in a moment where you're going to be doing some tangent problems. If you do not have a worksheet yet, now would be the time for you to get the worksheet. We're going to take a little bit of time to have you try to set up and solve these tangent equations. So why don't you go ahead and see if you can set up the tangent equation and then also solve for the missing side length. You can pause the video until we are ready to continue on. Okay, so I'm going to go through how you would set up these tangent problems. If you remember, they always have the same format where you're going to have the tangent of the angle over 1 is equal to your proportion. Anytime you've got tangent, you're going to be doing the opposite side over the adjacent side. So what I would do first on these problems is identify which side is the opposite and which side is the adjacent side. If I look at the triangle with a 62-degree angle in it, 18 is going to be the opposite side, and then A is going to be the adjacent side. I know that A is on the adjacent side because it's connected to, it's touching this 62-degree angle here. So if it's touching it or connected to it, that means it's the adjacent side. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up my tangent equation. So I'm going to fill the angle in the parentheses. And then after that, I'm going to set up the fraction, making sure that I do the opposite side over the adjacent side. So in this case, that's going to be 18 over A. And now I'm going to try to cross multiply to solve. Now, if you remember yesterday, we talked about this shortcut trick where if your variable is in the denominator, when you set up the problem, that means that you're going to divide. So denominator and divide both start with D. So what I'm going to do is take 18 and then divide by the tangent of 62, and that will give me my answer. So my answer is 9.57. Now let's look at the other problem. So I'm going to start again by identifying my opposite side and my adjacent side. In this case, the opposite side is B, and then the adjacent side is 20. And the way that I can tell that 20 is on the adjacent side is because 20 is touching or connected to that 48-degree angle. So now I'm going to set up my tangent problem by putting 48 in the parentheses, and then I'm going to do my opposite side over my adjacent, just like I always do for tangent. So in this case, that'll be B over 20. Now, the shortcut trick for this is that if your variable is on the top, then you're going to do a times problem or a multiplication problem. So to get this answer, I'm going to do B is equal to 20 times the tangent of 48. And I believe my answer for that is 22.21. Okay, so now I'm just going to talk a little bit about that shortcut again. So if you notice where your variable is, in this case, we've got the x on the top. So the trick is that if x is on the top, you're going to multiply. So it would look like this. So x is on the top, which means that I'm going to go ahead and multiply 12 times the tangent of 40. And I get my answer, if I round it here, 10.07. Now this time x is on the bottom, so it's in the denominator, which means that we are going to divide. So I'm going to set this one up by doing 12 divided by the tangent of 40. And the answer for that would be 14.3 if you round that. Okay, so now we're just gonna look at a quick problem that's not on your worksheet, but I just wanna see if you can figure this one out. So all that we know about this triangle is that we've got a right triangle, and then we've also got a 25-degree angle for our slope angle. We are gonna see if we can figure out what the slope of this triangle is if all we know is the slope angle. At first, it might seem like you don't have enough information, but all you're gonna need to do is one simple step in your calculator. Since slope is equal to the tangent of your angle, you're just gonna type in tangent of 25, and you're gonna get the slope as a decimal. So in this case, it's 0.47. All right, so now we're gonna get into some more about trigonometry. Trigonometry is the study of triangles. So we've been doing a lot of triangles so far this year. We've been doing Pythagorean theorem and proportions and now tangent to do triangles. So we're going to continue on with this trigonometry theme. We're going to try to look at the relationship between the side lengths and the angle, specifically which side is the hypotenuse, which side is the opposite, and then which side is the adjacent. So keep in mind that your tangent ratio is the same thing as rise over run, which means that your tangent ratio is equal to the slope. And let me show you a couple of examples. So in this triangle, I labeled my hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is always the longest side, and it's always across from my 90-degree angle. And now I'm going to label a specific angle. In this case, instead of using like X or Y or something like that, I'm actually using a Greek letter of the alphabet. This is called theta. It's the equivalent of a variable in our alphabet. You'll just see this sometimes when we're trying to designate an angle specifically. So we're gonna see if we can identify the opposite and the adjacent sides. So the opposite side is always across from the angle, so across from theta in this case. And then the adjacent side is going to be right next to or connected to theta. Now we're going to look at another example of a triangle with theta in a different place. So now theta is up at the top of the triangle. And so we are going to try to figure out where the opposite and the adjacent are. So the opposite is across the triangle, and the adjacent is right next to theta. Okay, so now on your worksheet, we're going to have you take some time to see if you can figure out how to label the opposite, the adjacent, and the hypotenuse. So we're going to pause the video and give you some time to work on all 6 problems that you can see on your worksheet. So not just these 3, but all 6. And then we will check your answers shortly. Okay, so here are the answers for the first row of problems. And here are the answers for the second row of problems. All right, now we are going to talk about one of my favorite math concepts. So we are going to talk about something called SohCahToa. SohCahToa is an acronym, and you might be able to guess what some of these letters stand for. All of these O's that you see, those stand for opposite. The A's that you see stand for adjacent, and the H's that you see stand for hypotenuse. We haven't talked about the S or the C yet, but we did talk about the T the other day. T stands for tangent. So let's talk about what the S stands for. S stands for sine. So the way that you actually spell sine is S-I-N-E, but it's always going to be abbreviated on your calculator, just S-I-N. If you use the acronym SohCahToa, it helps you figure out how to set up a sine equation. So for sine, you're always going to do the opposite side over the hypotenuse. For cosine, cosine is for the CAH part of SohCahToa, and so cosine is always going to be the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. And then tangent is the TOA part of SohCahToa, which stands for the opposite over the adjacent. So SohCahToa is something that we're going to take notes on next week, but kind of a cute way to remember it for now if you want is some old horses come a-hopping through our alley. Okay, let's do a couple of examples on your worksheet where we're going to actually set up these SohCahToa problems. So the first thing that we want to do is figure out whether we're working with the opposite, the adjacent, or the hypotenuse. I usually start by labeling the hypotenuse first because I know it's always my biggest side. It's always across from my 90-degree angle. And then from there, what I like to do is figure out whether the 4 is the opposite side or whether it's the adjacent side. And in this case, it's going to be the opposite side because it's across from the theta. Theta is at the bottom of the triangle, 4 is up at the top of the triangle, which leaves 15 to be the adjacent. So the two key ones that we need to know for this problem are that the 4 is the opposite side and then the 15 is the adjacent side. Since I have opposite and adjacent, I'm going to be using tangent for this problem. So I'm just going to set it up like this. I'll give you a moment to copy that onto your worksheet. Okay, let's look at this next example. So again, I'm going to start by labeling where the hypotenuse is. So hypotenuse is the longest side and it's always across from my 90-degree angle. So in this case, that's the 12. So then really I need to figure out, is 10 the opposite or the adjacent? And in this case, 10 is across from theta, which makes it the opposite side. So for this problem, since I've got opposite and hypotenuse, I'm going to set up a sine problem. So since I'm setting up a sine problem, I'm going to be doing the sine of theta is equal to my opposite, which is 10 in this case, over my hypotenuse, which is 12 in this case. Go ahead and copy that one onto your worksheet. Okay, here is the last example that we need to look at today. So I'm going to start by labeling my hypotenuse, which is where the 16 is. And then I'm going to try to figure out whether 5 is my opposite or my adjacent. In this case, it's my adjacent because it's right next to that theta. Since I've got adjacent and hypotenuse, I'm going to be using cosine this time. So here's what my equation would look like. I've got the cosine of theta is equal to 5 over 16. Once you get that copied down, you can turn in this worksheet and then grab the second worksheet, and I'll explain how to do that. You can pause the video while you're waiting for everybody to get the new worksheet. Okay, so here's the worksheet that you have, and we're going to talk about how to set this up. So I'm going to zoom in on the first section. So you can see that these are kind of marked off by section here, where 1, 2, and 3 kind of all go together. So on problems 1, 2, and 3, we're really zooming in on angle A. So angle A here is our focus angle. So angle A is our focus angle. That's basically like our theta, that means. So what I would suggest you do first is on the triangle, label what the opposite, the adjacent, and the hypotenuse are. So hypotenuse is always the longest side, which would be the 13. And then for this particular problem, 5 is your opposite and 12 is your adjacent. Now, if you remember for SohCahToa, sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So we're just going to be setting up fractions. So for sine, it's opposite over hypotenuse. So for this one, that's 5 over 13. For cosine, it's adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 12 over 13. And then for tangent, it's opposite over adjacent, which is 5 over 12. What I would do next is to label the answers that you got there. So they match up with the letters to the side. So 5 over 13, that's letter R. And then it looks like 12 over 13 is letter I. And then 5 over 12 is E. Let's look at problems 4, 5, and 6 as well. So you can see on problems 4, 5, and 6, there's just a slight difference where now we're focusing on angle B. So this is our angle right here, our angle B, which means that our opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse might be different. Our hypotenuse is still going to be the 13, but this time, since theta is angle B, it's that top angle, 12 is going to be the opposite, and then 5 is going to be the adjacent. So if I go to do my sine, cosine, and tangent, sine again is opposite over hypotenuse, so in this case that's 12 over 13. Cosine is my adjacent over my hypotenuse, which is 5 over 13. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent, so for this problem that'll be 12 over 5. So now I'm going to go ahead and match that up to the letters I see over here. So 12 over 13 is letter A. And then 5 over 13 is T, and then 12 over 5 is S. So I hope that gives you an idea of how to answer the questions on this worksheet. After you get all of the problems set up so that you figure out all 24 of the problems, then I would go ahead and fill in the joke at the bottom. So for example, R goes where you have a number 1, and then I is going to be number 2, E is going to be number 3, A is going to be number 4, T is going to be number 5, and then S is going to be number 6. So hopefully you can kind of fill in the rest, and you'll get the answer to a very funny joke. Hope you have a great day and a safe weekend. We will see you next week.